guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Home Lab Tech Support. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some public Wi-Fi, how to do it kind of secure, and how to keep it away from the rest of your home network. We're having a party on the 4th of July over at my home, and I want to make sure that people have the ability to easily connect to Wi-Fi. I don't want to have to deal with passwords or people asking for it. A lot of people know that I'm in the tech industry, so they don't like to ask how to connect into my stuff because they feel like it's secure, which is true. We do use enterprise radius authentication on most of my Wi-Fi here that has any connection to anything special or any server, but I want people to be able to connect to an open Wi-Fi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Dream Machine Pro, which I haven't used before for actual internet access other than the Protect on the Dream Machine itself. I have 5 static IPs here because we have a business fiber connection. So we're going to make sure that the Dream Machine Pro has a public static IP away from the rest of the network, and we're going to give it a VLAN 60 to be specific. It's just one that's already in the switch that's unused. We're going to use the LAN connection that's already going to the rest of the network, and we're going to make that VLAN on the Wi-Fi connect through the existing switches using trunk ports, and we're going to create that Wi-Fi network so that it's public, it's open, it's accessible for people, but we're also going to apply some guest policies so that people's devices can't talk to each other, and that's where the mostly secure part about that open Wi-Fi comes in together. And we're going to go through that, so there's going to be a lot of configuring to be able to do. So first of all, we have to log into the Dream Machine Pro, create that VLAN on the Unify controller. We're going to have to log into a second controller because this Unify switch is not a part of this Dream Machine. I'm going to have to log into the Cisco switch to configure the trunk that's between these two switches. And lastly, we're going to have to configure port 23, which goes to port 27 on my patch panel, which goes to the access point that is already installed on the outside of the home. And we're going to configure that Wi-Fi network as well. So let's go ahead and jump into that and get started. By the way, it's great to have you guys back. My company has been absolutely exploding. Once we get large enough, we already have invested in looking into a program where we can take people in that are super green into the industry so that we can help you guys grow, learn, and teach and train you, help you guys get certified, and that is a huge passion of mine, is teaching people. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to be offering that position hopefully within the next year. It's going to take a little bit of time. We have to have the funds to be able to pay you during that position and the time to teach you. And I want to make sure that we take care of you when we offer that position, so we're not just throwing you into the fire and you're not going to fail. We want to make sure that you succeed. Anyways, let's jump in. Okay, so I am logged into my UDM Pro through the Unify portal. So as you can see, there's really not much that's been used on this. Let's go ahead and dive in. So let's go into the settings, and we're going to go over to networks, and let's go ahead and create that new network. Let's call this guest Wi-Fi. Let's take a look at advanced, and we want to make this VLAN 60 like we were talking about earlier. It's just it's what exists at my home on switches already. It's just not in use. We don't need device isolation or domain name. You know, let's do a family content filtering, and we're not doing any VPN settings here. So let's go ahead and click on Add Network. Awesome. So that guest network is created. Once we click back in here, we can take a look and see that that DHCP server is active. We're going to get a lease for 86,400 seconds, and let's do an Ntp server. You know what? No, let's not, because I don't have one available. There's nothing else that I want to add here. You know, this is what I don't like about the DHCP stuff, is you really can't specify too many options here. You can add options down here, but you can't really specify scope or yeah, there's some missing features here. Anyways, all right, so that has been created. That's awesome. So we can see that this port is active. So that VLAN 60 should be active on here. If we take a look at this photo here, we can see that the UDM Pro is plugged into the Unify switch on port 9. Let's just take a look at this port here and make sure that this is in fact set to all, and that guest Wi-Fi VLAN is an option here. Okay, so let's switch over to my Unify, and let's go take a look at that home switch. What port did we say? We said port 9. There it is, Dream Machine LAN, and let's see. Okay, so this is only set up as bench 12, so let's go ahead and create a port profile. And what that's going to allow us to do is have a untagged VLAN and a specified tagged VLAN. where is it? Configuration profiles, switchboards. Because I can't on this port specify that I want a special tagged VLAN right from this dropdown. So we're going to have to make a special profile. So let's exit out of here. Let's create a new port profile. Let's call this Dream Machine Special Connect. And we want that native network to be bench 3, and we want, where is that VLAN? What was my IoT network, which is VLAN 60. We can see that in that number here to be the tagged, and we don't want any other network going through here. And we're going to head and click on done. Great. So if we go back to devices and we click on that switch and we go to that Dream Machine profile port, let's change that to that Dream Machine Special Connect. So now that that port is going to allow the ingress of VLAN 60 as a tagged VLAN. So great, now we're into the Unify switch, but now we have to take a look at the port that's going out of the Unify switch and up to the Cisco switch, and that's going to be port 22. So let's go take a look at that right here, and we can see that that's uplinked because the router for the internet is actually coming from that Cisco switch. So let's go take a look at that port. All right, so that port profile we can see is trunk native 100. So let's go take a look at that port profile in the settings, and let's move you out of the way. That trunk native 100 is going to be right over here, and we can see that all the VLANs except for that native VLAN, because you can't tag and have a native VLAN at the same time, is already there. Great, so now from that Unify switch, we are already passing that tag traffic up to the Cisco switch, which is where the access point is plugged into, and that's plugged into, gosh darn, I gotta go take a look. Okay, so that access point is plugged into port 23. So let's jump into that Cisco switch and let's go take a look at that port VLAN membership. So port 13, it looks like we have 60T, so that ingress of that tagged VLAN is coming into that switch already, which is good. And then port 23 looks like already has that tagged as well. Great, so now that that exists, and that should be traversing all the way to that access point through these switches, we should now be able to create that Wi-Fi on the access point itself. So let's go back over to where that access point is. Right, so we're in the right controller. That outside access point is over here. That's good. Let's go ahead and go into the settings in our Wi-Fi. Let's get this out of the way, and let's create a new Wi-Fi network. Let's create an advanced one. Really, okay, so can we talk about that for a second? 2 seconds. There is no difference between these two. That create basic Wi-Fi is basically a wizard that's going to create some settings extra for you. But the moment that you finish creating that basic Wi-Fi network, if you go back into it, you get all the same settings that you would with Create Advanced. So we're just going to click on Create Advanced, and we're just going to get access to those settings right away. So I'm going to call this Ryan's 4th of July Wi-Fi, and it helps if I don't try to capitalize the number 4 and just hit the number 4 like a dingus. Okay, I like it. Let's go ahead and make it open, and let's go ahead and apply guest policies. We'll want to go check on what those policies are set up for. We want to set a VLAN ID of 60. I want to turn on broadcast filtering. We have to put the MAC address of the UDM Pro's LAN interface in here, or else we're just not going to get broadcast traffic out. And, well, DHCP is broadcast traffic, and we need that. I'm also going to turn on some of the other features down here. I'm going to change the DTIM period to 2. Usually I'll do 3 in larger density networks. It just slows down the broadcast of the, hi, I'm this access point. Here's my SSIDs. Broadcast, which we really don't need that to be fast. Let's take that down to 12, and let's keep that at 24. It's just, these are settings that I find work pretty well. And let's go ahead and click on done. So that's good. Okay, so what I just did with my system preferences is I created a virtual network adapter. So we'll go to manage virtual interfaces. I already have a bunch of VLANs in here. So what I did was I just opened it and made sure that it was plugged into my Thunderbolt Ethernet, and we added that as a network just by clicking on add, and I selected V60 right here. It already exists, so I'm not going to re-add it, and I got a DHCP lease from that Dream Machine Pro. So that Dream Machine Pro is 192.168.2.1, and if we ARP, or look at our ARP, oops. Awesome. So 192.168.2.1. There's the MAC address of that LAN interface right there. So let's go ahead and put that into the broadcast filtering, and let's click apply on that. Okay, cool. So that's going to be done. Great. So that outside access point is provisioning. So once that's done, that should be good. Okay, so now, are we done? Are you done yet? Yeah, okay, great. Uplink through outside access point. It's not right, Unify. No, your uplink is through port 22. But you know that, but you're not showing that, which is very interesting. Anyways, okay, so this is where I goofed up. I forgot to record audio with this, so now I have to do a voiceover. Right, so walk to the front of the house, put my phone on recording, and we can see that the 4th of July Wi-Fi is there, so we're going to go ahead and connect to it. And it goes ahead and connects as expected, and we get an IP address of 192.168.2.11. And it's in its own broadcast domain, so that's fine. All right, so let's pop over and do a quick speed test and see what kind of speeds we're getting. I'm just standing inside of the house, so this should be okay, but I'm parallel with the disk itself. That's not bad for a download speed. Do we? Yep, we break 100. Awesome. So let's let that test finish. Cool, 101 download, and we're sitting above, right at 200. That's definitely going to be okay for anyone that's connecting to that Wi-Fi, and I did not put any limiters or guest profiles on that, so I will call that a win. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today on this video of setting up a public Wi-Fi for my 4th of July party. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. Let's adjust that YouTube algorithm. And if you like these videos, just go ahead and click on subscribe. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye. If you guys want to watch more videos, check these out. I chose these videos at the end of this one when I was putting up on YouTube, so you guys can go ahead and watch more content. These are relevant videos to this Unify video, so check them out.